He has tremendously overrated ideas about himself. He thinks he is the best, will be the best, but not that he will do his best. Okay. Who thought that they were the best? Okay. It's those situations that we're in as we grow up and as we start our life and our journey, and we see someone else accomplishing something. So if someone else did something specifically better than you, something that you weren't able to do, you would have that mindset of, I can also do that if I wanted to. I was compared to my sister as I grew up, and she studied really hard. And when I was compared with not getting the same marks as she did, my excuse was I could also get 80% or distinction if I studied as hard as she did. But I didn't. Okay, so if someone will compete in sport and achieve a certain something, let's say being a national rugby player, you would say that if I practice as hard as he did, I can also do that. If I practice every day, I can also have a scratch handicap. If I did well in matric, I could also study for a doctor. There's a lot of things that we could have done, but we didn't. So we can't pretend that we did them. So we can't compare ourselves and put ourselves on that level if we didn't do the prerequisite, what is required of getting the distinction. We didn't do the study part. So we can't say we could also do that. In gym, people would say, if I trained every day, I can also bench 130, 140 or whatever. But we didn't. Even I can give a little bit of credit to people using a lot of supplements. We would say that if I use the amount of supplements that he did, I can also do this. But we don't. And with that supplements comes the training and the exercise. And we don't commit to doing what is required. So we can't put ourselves on that level. Okay. He may like to flash money, drive a big car, or appear superior to others, feeling he doesn't need to put forth the same effort as others to be a success or get what he wants. Okay. Thinking that you can accomplish something if you try. But your process remains in the thinking part. Thinking that I can stop addiction if I want to. Thinking I can stop smoking if I want to. Everyone knows that addiction, smoking is bad for you, but you don't try to quit. You don't try to stop. So rather get out of the denial saying that I don't want to stop now. And even maybe I can't stop right now. Something else needs to happen in my life before I can stop. Or something else needs to be revealed to me before I can make this change. But don't think that you can make a certain change or you can accomplish something by saying, if I wanted to, I can. Because if you really wanted to, you wouldn't be saying, if I wanted to. If you really wanted to, it would have happened already. It's something to think about. Okay, so he sets unrealistic goals but isn't willing to follow through with the real work involved in honest achievement. There's a lot of things that comes before receiving the medallion. There's a lot of things that comes before getting the certificate. A lot of things that comes before being rewarded. And a lot of times we expect that reward, medallion, certificate before doing the things that need to come before. You can't complete a program without staying a minimum of 6 months. So a lot of times we trying to complete something before doing what is required. We try to work without working. We try to follow shortcuts. Okay. In life, especially a younger generation likes shortcuts, like changing their minds, moving the goalpost closer, not further, thinking that what is required is not relevant to me. Okay? The spiritual issue is the spirit of pride. Thinking that we are above the minimum requirements. Thinking there's a program, there's a process that needs to be followed, but it's not relevant to me. I can do it differently. Okay. Andile, please take the pen out of your ear. Okay. Then you need to earn what you can get. Buying a driver's license. Okay, so some of you may or may not be guilty of this, but that's not receiving something the right way. Cheating the system. Not studying for a test properly. Shortcuts will never reward you in the long run. There's things that you can do that will make life easier for you, but we should not be confused that those things don't complicate your life. Okay? A lot of things that may look like a shortcut will actually be a complication. Trying short-term recovery. I've tried short-term recovery more than long-term recovery, and I've been in a couple of long-term rehabs. But the damage I've done after the short-term recoveries has been a lot worse, and it has really complicated my life. My parents' life, financially, it destroyed a lot of relationships, trying something the easy way, thinking that this is my chance, I'm going to take a shortcut. A shortcut will not reward you. Okay. Learn patience, tolerance for tedious work. We need to be patient in doing what is required of us right now. We are all going through a season. We're going through a process where you need to learn something right now in your life. This thing should be important. You need to focus on this relationship. You need to focus on working to accomplish something so that you can do what you really want to do. We don't want to be in rehab for 6 months. We really want to have a happy, normal life with your family, having a job, getting a salary. That's what we want. Living healthy. But you cannot do what you want to do if you don't do what you need to do first. And it's something that you need to get and understand. And that shortcut will only take you backwards. Trying to do now something that you're not able or equipped to do. And I can back that up by saying, if you could have done it, why are you here? Okay, so we can't do it. We need help first. It's a very important thing to get. Okay, let's go to Proverbs 25, 14. Okay. Whoso boasts himself of a false gift is like clouds and winds without rain. You know, we are all God's favorite. We are all unique. But we should never confuse that with thinking that we are special and that rules does not apply to us. Okay. Let me go back to a story in my life where I was stuck with this confusion. As I grew up, I played a lot of chess with my grandfather, and I became really good. That was still when I was in primary school, and I went to go play a couple of tournaments, and I did very well there. And then I went to high school, and I couldn't play rugby due to an operation or injury I had, and I tried to find something that I could do and where I could fit in, and chess weren't really something that the cool kids would do, you know. So my parents advised me to try out for the chess team, and I didn't want to, and it came to a point where the chess teacher heard that I was quite good, and he approached me and he asked if I will try out for his team, and I didn't want to, and I was very arrogant and cocky and saying that this is below me. And then after a while he approached me again, and I went to him and I said, okay, I'm not gonna I'll play on your team, but I want to do it my way. I won't be able to come to the practices but I will be able to play the games. And he said it's not the way it works. So I told him that it's either this way or I'm not playing. So he saw that I was good, and he allowed me to play on my terms. Okay. And then later on in life, this arrogance caught up with me, and I thought that I could do the same with everything else. And I started failing maths because I thought it's not necessary for me to study. I'm quite good at this. I started failing a lot of subjects, and I didn't get university acceptance. And it took me 10 years to get into university to study what I wanted to study, because I was filled with arrogance from a young age. And that specific moment taught me that I can get away with things on my terms. Doing a lot of illegal stuff because I thought I'm smarter than the system. I can do things and I won't get caught. And whether or not you want to accept it, we all thought the same thing. Because using drugs is illegal, So if you choose to do that, you think that you won't get caught. And it evolves to a point where you don't really care if you get caught anymore. I just want to do it because I want to do it. And I'll stop when I'm locked up, when I'm dead, or when I don't have any money, when I've robbed everyone. That's when I'll stop. But up until I have a choice in this matter, I'm going to choose the wrong thing. And you choose it because you just want to do the wrong thing. And that started with thinking that you're better, You don't wake up one morning thinking that today I'm going to destroy my life. Today I'm going to ruin all my relationships. It evolves over a period of time. But it starts with that seed of pride, thinking that you know better. Okay, let's go to Galatians 6 verse 3. Don't worry, I'll just read it. So, if any man thinks himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. We aren't better than others. There's nothing that makes us special that will put us above standards, above the rules. Rules do apply to everyone. We really need to realize that. Okay, so another thing is that a lot of times we think that we can make better decisions than our authorities. And sometimes you don't even think that you can make better decisions. You're stuck in the mindset of, I know that I can make better decisions. So we are so deceived. If I stand in front of you now saying that you think that you can make better decisions, you would shake your head, not saying I think, saying I know I can make better decisions. We are so deceived. And I've been in that same place. I've been in the place where whatever the situation would be, whatever rules would be applied, I thought that I know better. They can't help me the way I should be helped. Okay. Then, if you give yourself that type of credit, you are actually discrediting yourself. Because we are not in a position to give ourselves credit, especially regarding the help we receive or how we need to get help. Being here is a certain consequence in all of our lives, and if you're trying to argue your consequences, you are not taking responsibility towards being here and placing yourself in this position. So we need to take responsibility, and in that responsibility, letting go of us controlling our environment or controlling our circumstances. Okay, and a lot of times we think that we've arrived or that we've made it. There's nothing left to learn. And there's always something each of us can learn. There's always something that will improve you, that will make you better. And sometimes that something is only enduring a season, going through a process. There might not be something specific in that stage, but going through it will help you learn something. And then we shouldn't think that we can do something if we're not willing to do it. And if we're willing to do something, it wouldn't be thinking anymore. We would have done it already. An example of, let's use Jim as an example, saying, I can also look that way if I trained every day. But you don't, and you don't. And smoking, if you say that I can also quit smoking if I wanted to. You don't want to because you're still smoking. And that's your choice. But don't think that you can do something if you try. Because then you should have done it already. Okay, please close your eyes. Father God, thank you for this wonderful day. I ask that you will be with each and every one of us and just reveal to us what changes we need to make. I ask that you will be with our families and our loved ones and guide us through this week. And I pray this in Jesus' name.